Hello. Camera on. Recording.
Oh, well, okay. So, I wanted to share something with you that I mean, do with it what you will. It's a piece of advice that I think everybody should listen to, especially now. So, when I found out that something was legitimately wrong, I started Googling symptoms, right? Like I think most people would. And I applied what I think is a pretty solid filter to weed out the crap and find legitimate sources. You know, stuff from like the Mayo Clinic and well-known places like that you can probably trust. And when I figured out and was diagnosed with the fact that I had a tumor that could potentially involve surgery, I started digging around on Facebook and actually found a medical group. Now, I did not look for a group specifically for tumors or whatever. In fact, I don't remember exactly how I found them, but basically I found this guy who wants to change the way American healthcare works, and I like the way he's going about it. I like what he does. He puts up a whole lot of videos of like interviews with different doctors and whatnot. I found him and I joined his group, which is 90% nurses. There's some EMTs and some combat medics and a couple of doctors too. And then there's a fair number of just non-medical people, you know, just civilians like me. And I went in there and basically wanted to learn how to be a better patient, you know. How do I maximize my experience in a hospital? What do they hate people to do? What do they like? What should you do? What do the nurses like for patients to do to take care of themselves? And even to find out what you can get away with, you know, like, can you actually have family bring food in from outside without them getting too pissy? Stuff like that. And it was very, very helpful. And I learned quite a bit, and I'm actually still part of the group, even though I'm fairly certain I won't be in the hospital anytime soon. Because it's a good window into the medical world, and frankly, you can learn quite a bit. One of the benefits to this was they started talking about how nurses react when they have a headache, right? And some people are like, oh, it's cancer. You know, it's basically, it was a commentary on how nurses tend to be somewhat hypochondriacs. And I put a comment up, I was just like, oh, or, you know, it's the medication that, somebody said it could be the brain tumor that you don't know you've got. And so I was like, well, or it could be the medication for the tumor that you just figured out you've got, you know. And several other people kind of latched onto that, and I ended up having a discussion with a couple of people who had the same issue that I've got. One of them had to undergo surgery for it, and that was pretty eye-opening too, because apparently obviously surgery is not always 100%, especially when it comes to like removing tumors and shit. But apparently she had to go in twice, and they still didn't get it all, and it's growing back, and now she's got to go in a third time. And she thought they got it all until one day she woke up with a big old blind spot. And I was like, oh, that's good. She says, yeah, no shit. So not only does she have to go in for surgery a third time, she's got to do it pretty quick, because it's pushing on the optic nerve, and if it does any real damage, it doesn't heal. So you can learn a lot, and you can figure out what to expect, and frankly, it can be somewhat uplifting. Really, you're gonna stop because there's a turkey on the side of the road? It can be somewhat uplifting because you see how it could have been worse, you know? And I feel bad for the lady, but at the same time, I really am glad it's her, not me, you know? Like, man, I'm glad that's not my problem. So if you ever find anything wrong with yourself, Facebook is a pretty solid place to go to find like-minded individuals, you know? And don't count it out just because everybody likes to hate on social media, which I know most people love it. Oh, Facebook sucks. Yeah, you know, they're kind of invasive about some things and a little shady, but every company is, you know? Everything you do on the internet's being tracked and all that crap. So to me, Facebook's really not any different from anybody else, aside from the fact that they're the largest, you know. So anyway, just keep that in mind, and I'm sure there's probably sets of people on like Twitter and Instagram too, but they don't have the same kind of groups. You might even find some forums. This doctor guy actually has his own set of forums, but not really interested in spending that much time on it, to be honest. Forums are nice for certain things, but dear Lord, it can be a lot of work to get up to speed, so to speak.
Recording stopped. Goodbye.